We are recording. We're good.
Okay, cool. Welcome everybody. Today's webinar is all about meal planning with non-perishable foods. My name is Abigail. I'm the co-founder of That Clean Life, and I also have here with me Tabitha. Tabitha, do you want to say hi?
Hey guys, if you haven't heard from me before, then you will soon enough. I am the customer success lead, and I'm answering all of your support tickets and communicating with you guys there. So it's so nice to connect with you over video today.
Yeah, how many of you guys have already talked to Tabitha? Let us know in the chat box if you have become BFF with Tabitha forever. Okay, cool. Lots of you guys have. Amazing. So also wondering how many of you guys are currently That Clean Life members? Let us know in the chat. And how many of you guys are just kind of a part of our bigger community and aren't quite members yet? Let us know, because we always like to know kind of what mix we have here. So I see a lot of members. Amazing. This is awesome. So you guys are going to be really familiar with what we show you today. So before we dive into things here, I'm just kind of wondering, we asked you this last week, but how is everybody doing and feeling with everything kind of going on in the world? Let us know in the chat. How's your business being impacted? Are things still going on as usual for you? Are you totally online? Are you feeling overwhelmed with taking your business online? Let us know. Give us an update. And while you guys are doing that, from our end, we've been working hard to kind of pivot all the content we had planned for you. So as many of you guys might know, we were rolling out a series called Nutrition for Your Business. We plan to roll out an episode every week until May. But with all of this happening, we've kind of decided that there's more important things that we should be creating for you right now. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to release that entire series so you guys can binge watch it, so you get all that information right away. And then we're going to be working on creating you guys content that you can use with your clients, like right now, that's super actionable. So the way this started is we released a blog post a few weeks ago called 20 Meals You Can Make with Non-Perishable Foods. You guys love this so much that we actually turned it into a whole program. So there's a meal plan, pre-made meal plan within That Clean Life now. And that's what we're here to talk about today, is how you can help your clients meal plan right now, because they don't have as much access to those fresh foods, right? So that's what you're going to learn today. Tabitha is going to walk you through all that. I see a lot of stuff rolling into the chat. So if you guys have any questions as we're going here, feel free to pop those into the chat box, or feel free to ask them in the Q&A box, and we can answer your questions as we go, and we can have a Q&A at the end too if we have some time left over. So how many of you guys have had a chance to look at the non-perishable meal plan yet in That Clean Life? Okay, perfect. I see Brenda said not yet. Melissa, yes. Lisa, yes. Heather, yes. Okay, a lot of you guys have already seen this. So let's dive right into it then. I'm going to turn it over to you, Tabitha. And the first thing, let's get started by talking about the Non-Perishable Food Program. Just give us an overview. What is it all about?
Yeah, definitely. So the Non-Perishable Foods Program, like Abigail said, was birthed from our blog post to round up 20 healthy meals that are made with non-perishables. And we just heard such great feedback from you guys that we knew we needed to make this a bigger thing. So really it is fresh food is not always available. So what we've done is we've made a meal plan out of pantry staples, freezer staples, things that your clients likely have or are easily accessible and affordable. And so it can be completely customized for your customers and clients' needs.
Awesome. And I was going to say like what comes included with the program, but why don't you take us right into That Clean Life?
Yeah.
We can share screens. You can show us around and show us kind of what comes included with the program and where to find it for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet.
Perfect. Let's hop right in there. All right. Do you want to know when you can see my screen, Abigail?
Looks good.
Great. Okay, so when you log into That Clean Life, you're likely hitting your dashboard first, and this is the hub to find everything new. So you'll notice that in our news feed, we've actually highlighted our Non-Perishable Foods Program because it's the newest thing that we've rolled out to you. So you can easily click on there in order to find it, or you can click on programs and find it nestled in with all of our other programs. You know, we've got over 60 programs to help you really create a template that you can work from nice and easily. So this is the Non-Perishable Foods Program. Whenever you click on the name of a program, it gives you a nice summary of what we've done in order to create something that's helpful for you, sort of an overview of what you're expecting. You can take time to scroll through the recipes to see if that's what you're looking for. And if all looks good, then we can click on View to view it in our planner. So something that I do want to highlight within our programs is that you'll notice instead of View, there's an option for Guide. So yes, it comes with all of the recipes. It comes laid out in a beautiful template for a 7-day plan. But if you click on Guide, there's actually an option to go to all of our meal planning guides. So each program has its own meal planning guide. And this is huge for client compliance. So what we've done is we've laid out the tasks that your clients need to do on each day in order to feel very prepared and excited about what they're about to make for the coming days and pack for lunch the coming days and enjoy for breakfast the coming days. So it really lays it out in a timeline and almost checkable tasks that your clients will love. So that's
Amazing.
always with the guide.
So you guys saw Tabitha went into the programs tab, and it's at the very top there. So it's super easy to find. And I'm interested to know how many of you guys knew about prep guides, the thing that Tabitha just showed you. How many of you guys knew about prep guides, or how many of you are just learning about prep guides for the first time? Okay, yes, love them. Anybody not know about prep guides that just learned something new? Just learning. Okay, perfect. Then
Amazing.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've seen where you find the program. We've seen the prep guide. Why don't we talk about scaling this program? Because I know a lot of you guys are just working with clients. Some people are single, some people are couples, some people are feeding families. So Tabitha, do you mind showing us how you would scale this program to feed different amounts of people?
Yeah, definitely. So when you click on View, you'll notice at the top that it brings us from programs over to planner. So this means that we're now viewing it in our own planner. And you'll notice that if you try to click on any of the photos, it tells you that it's read only. So it basically tells you if you want to make any changes to this, you first have to make a copy of it. So you can always click continue, or you can just go copy right from the beginning to make a copy. And you'll notice the scale by option comes up. So I'm going to just remove this copy for a family of 2. And so if I want to scale it by 2 people and I'm trying to serve 2 people, I can actually just put the number 2 in there. If I was working with a family of 4, I can just put the number 4 in there. And what that's going to do is it's going to scale up all of the recipes for the certain number of people that you're working with within the family. And then I'm going to click copy plan. And now we've got that brand new name up there. And I can click inside of any of the photos now and make any changes. And you'll notice that all the servings went up in order to serve that number of people.
Right. So when you scale an entire meal plan, everything is adjusted automatically to feed anywhere from 1 to 4 people. The grocery list will feed that many people. The serving sizes will all be set appropriately. So you're good to go. Now, let's say you need to modify this program for whatever reason. Your clients have food sensitivities, or you know that they don't have a certain ingredient. How would you modify this program?
Totally. So let's just start from scratch again and go back into View. And once again, in order to make any changes, you first need to make your own copy. So you just want to think about that logically. You can't make any changes because everyone else in that Clean Life is using this. So you need to make changes to your own copy. So I'm going to click copy. I don't want to scale this at all. I want to keep it for 1 person. And I'm just going to keep the same name. So first we're going to copy the plan. And now we're able to make changes. So if I start to look through this, I can see for breakfast that we've got a berry baked oatmeal along with some overnight oats. And let's just click inside this berry baked oatmeal to view the details. And I can see that I'm using frozen berries down here. So maybe through conversation with your client or through the meal planning assessment tool, you've discovered that they don't actually have any frozen fruit on hand. So this isn't going to work for them. That's not really catering to what their non-perishable needs are. So we can totally change this out to be like another overnight oats recipe, because we already know that they've got oats on hand with this pumpkin pie oats. And we can just sub out those berries for just another recipe. So in order to remove this, we just want to click on the photo, and I'm actually going to remove it from all 3 days that it's assigned to, just so I can remove it all at once. And I'm going to save breakfast. Perfect. So now we've got our days that are blank. And now we want to know, what else can I add to this? So I'm actually going to pop into recipes, and I'm going to filter specifically for oats because I know that that's what they have on hand. And filter. Now you could even go a step further to know that if you are looking for overnight oats, you could actually use the search bar up here and just type in overnight. And all of the oats recipes are going to pop up. So we can do something like carrot cake, vanilla latte. That's one of my favorites. I'm just going to click on that. And I know that this, for the most part, just involves pantry staples. So we're not looking at any frozen goodies. It's just oats, chia seeds, cacao nibs, all that information there. So that looks pretty good. So I'm going to add that to my plan. So we know that we removed 3 days. So I'm going to bump that up to 3 servings. And I'm going to add to our non-perishable foods program for breakfast on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'm going to pop back over to my planner, which is where I added that. And now I can mark these as leftovers because we know that we added those 3 servings on the Monday, which is when they're going to make that first serving. So that's really how you would go about searching for foods that would work or wouldn't work for your client.
Awesome. Okay, so I see one question in the chat box about the prep guide. So it's once you copy a program and you change it, so like you just changed the
very baked oatmeal.
Exactly. So how would you modify the prep guide? So I want to note that the prep guides don't update automatically. That's why we give them to you in Google Docs, so you can modify them as you see fit. So Tabitha could go in here and she could make a copy of this, and then she could edit the prep guide to show any changes that she made. So yeah, that's how that works.
So just a copy of, so then that way you can make any of the changes you need to. So I can go down here now and just type in those vanilla. Oh. And what you can do is just a simple find. So, you know, if I can find berry, I know where berry baked shows up, and I can replace everything with the vanilla overnight oats just to make it one fell swoop.
Amazing. Okay,
cool.
So that's nice and easy. And even if you guys are designing your own programs from scratch, you can use our prep guides as kind of templates. You can make a copy and change anything you want and just kind of use that as a framework. So you can definitely create prep guides for your own programs too. The other question I saw, now I lost it. Jennifer, she was asking, what diet does the Non-Perishable Foods Program follow? So this the Non-Perishable Foods Program isn't designed after like any specific type of diet. Like it's not a keto program or something like that, but it does fall into many categories because we're not using perishable foods. So as it turns out, it's just kind of naturally dairy-free. I think it's egg-free, gluten-free. It's pescatarian, soy-free, vegetarian. I believe it's vegan actually as well. Like I don't think there are any animal products in it.
Yeah, it's vegan as well, I believe.
Right, because we're not using many perishable foods, I should say. So actually, do you want to just show us the shopping list real quick for the program tab? Because that kind of gives an overview.
So all of your lists are actually listed just to the right of the plan. So you can click on list and it'll pop you over to into your lists. And you'll notice that our vegetable list is slim to none. So we just got some aromatics for a couple of the recipes. We've got no bread, fish, meat, and cheese. Fruits are minimal with subbing out that overnight oats recipe. Yeah, so we're really relying on boxed in canned goods as well as our spices and baking.
Right. Okay, cool. And then the next thing I was kind of hoping to go over, so we went over how you would modify the meal plan. What about kind of just general tips you could share with finding non-perishable recipes? I did see a question somewhere about that. So what about using the filters to kind of find
Mhm.
recipes that might work?
Yeah, great question. So with non-perishables, we don't have a tag that lends to non-perishables. So you really want to lean on what your client already has in their cupboard. So you would have discovered this through whether it be a discovery call. If you've not gotten on the phone with them, then perhaps you're using the meal plan assessment tool and you've added a question that asks them what they have on hand. Maybe they've given you, you've already been working with this client from a one-on-one perspective, and you know that they really love rice, but they don't like chickpeas. So there's just ways that you could really rely on what you've already used to serve them. And I actually really like to rely on initially the tags, because your tags are your overarching search tool. They really, allow you to remove the bulk of things that you're not looking for. So a lot of our free from the top allergens, and then as well as the therapeutic diet. So you can find anything that complies within a therapeutic diet. So if we know that we need to stay gluten-free and we need to stay dairy-free, we can apply those. We can also apply nut-free if we know that we're looking for someone who has an allergy to nuts or just doesn't like them. And then specifically, we actually want to leverage, something with rice. Let's actually do some jasmine rice. And we're going to filter recipes. So we've got 22 recipes that spit out for us. And you'll notice that it highlights everything that includes jasmine rice. So if I quickly scan, I can see these coconut rice with beans. That's highly pantry friendly. And that's going to really leverage the rice that I know they've already purchased because we already assigned them a meal plan last week, or perhaps they were prepping for this and they knew it was coming out, so they got rice. But regardless, it's going to add that to their list. And so easy, just water, coconut milk, jasmine rice, and black beans. So then you can leverage something like this for continuing weeks of this program, or to sub it out for something that they may not like in the current 7-day program.
Awesome. So yeah, the filters make it really easy to find kind of substitutions and search for non-perishable foods. So you can kind of get some more inspiration. And I see a really interesting question from Kathleen. And Kathleen, I'm glad that you asked this. You said, is there a reason this is a high carb and low protein program? And yes, there is, because when looking for non-perishable foods, a lot of them are naturally higher in carbs. So we left it that we didn't use the perishable sources of protein like eggs and chicken and that kind of stuff that people might not have at home. But with this being said, if you need to up the protein, we left it so that you can add side dishes. So if you wanted to add a side of chicken breast or eggs, if your client has that on hand, or whatever you want to do, you can totally modify it to up that protein.
Great point.
Yeah. See, here's an example. On Monday dinner, we have the slow cooker black beans and rice. If you wanted, you could add a side protein with that. You could even add more vegetables with that. If you know your client has extra stuff that they can add into that to up those micronutrients, you can add those in too. So we've kind of left this as a blank canvas. We like to call it a template that you can totally modify however you need. But we wanted to leave room for people to add in what they have versus adding it in and your client's not having it, being frustrated, and then just not following the plan. So I hope that helps. The other question was from Emily. So Emily's asking about scaling the program. So Tabitha showed you how you could scale it from 1 to 4 people. So that's the max our recipes can scale up to the meal plans can go from 1 to 4. Any recipe can be scaled up to 24 servings. But you're asking about how to scale it for a group nutrition program. So I'm assuming you're thinking about running a group nutrition program with this. So you would have to kind of decide how many people you want the meal plan to serve. So in the past, when we've run group nutrition programs, we've talked to our clients and said, how many people would you prefer that the meal plan serves? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the most common feedback we got was usually 2. So people who lived alone, they found that good because it would create them leftovers. And then people who were a couple could follow the meal plan as is. But that how many people you make it serve if you're running a group nutrition program would depend on kind of your demographic.
Great point.
Yeah. So next thing I wanted to kind of cover, Tab, was what this would look like when you export it as a PDF. So for those of you guys not using that Clean Life, that Clean Life is a practitioner facing platform. So they don't see all this behind the scenes stuff. Basically, you use that Clean Life to create a PDF and then you export it. So walk us through that process.
Yeah, cool. So I went ahead and exported what this looks like already, but just so for those of you who aren't familiar with what this process looks like, once everything's set in stone and you want to export your resource, you would just simply click export. You can choose to include the nutrition. This obviously includes the breakdown of the entire plan as well as recipes, or you don't have to. Also really handy is you can choose a cover photo. And what this does is it allows you to add a really beautiful photo to your branding in order to create a complete summary. And then we've got our recipes highlighted here. We've got 14 recipes that are included within this specific program. And then within your brief is where you can communicate any information that you'd like with your client. Actually, sneak peek, can I show them this, Abigail?
Yeah, do it.
So we actually today just rolled out a new exciting template. So if you're actually looking to do this as a recipe book, you can select that template there. I'm going to come back to that in just a moment because we're going to go over recipe books. But all of the templates for what you might want to communicate with your clients can be found under templates. So I'm just going to apply this client meal plan introduction, and it's going to go over some really handy items like grocery store list tips, shopping tips, recipe tips, and leftovers. So super handy. When I click export, which I'm not going to make y'all wait because I already did that, this beautifully branded, one second, Zoom is in my way. This beautifully branded program comes out within a PDF. So we've got that cover photo that we selected along with your branding that'll appear here and the name of the program. So that brief shows up. So that's all of the information that we've included from that template. This is highly customizable. So don't let this be your limit, and always, always make sure you're creating a callback to your site so that you're linking to your website, services that you offer, whatever it might be, so that that call to action is there and they can continue to book follow-up appointments with you. We've got our meal plan that pops out with our, sorry, that was my fault with my mouse, with our 7-day meal plan printed out. And then we've got our grocery list followed by all of the recipes. And those show up there. So that's exactly what Abigail means by export. So this is a PDF that your client can view, whether it be on a mobile device, through their computer, and they can go ahead and prep based on everything that you've included for them.
Amazing. And in last week's webinar, when we showed the finalized meal plan, a lot of you guys were emailing in and being like, my meal plan doesn't have pictures on it. So just so you guys know, there are 3 different PDF versions that you can export. So Tabitha is going into her profile, and then under preferences, you're going to see something that says theme. And this is where you control how your PDF looks and feels. So you can choose classic, modern, and bold. There's previews of all of them. But classic will not have photos. It's designed to be more printer friendly, and then modern and bold are much more visual options. So you guys do have control over the look and feel of your PDFs too. So keep that in mind. Okay, so that was exporting it. Now you touched on this briefly about recipe books, but what about for people who don't want to give their clients a non-perishable program, but they want to give their clients some non-perishable recipes? How would you take this and turn it into just a recipe book? So no meal plan, just recipes.
Great. Awesome. So yeah, if you haven't yet discovered the collections feature, that is your best friend for recipe books. I actually love to use my collections feature as an overall storing file folder situation. So you can create a collection after a client, but for today, we're going to create specifically a recipe book. And in order to get these recipes or any recipes that you find through filters into a recipe book, you want to first add them to a collection. So instead of viewing within the planner, so you don't need to click view here, you can actually just view each recipe one by one, going through the list here. So for these almond butter stuffed dates, I'm going to go to view recipe details to make sure that this is actually something that I want to include for my clients. Oh, yep, it's just 2 ingredients, which works perfectly for the recipe book I'm trying to put together. So then I can go ahead and add it to a collection. So let's create a new collection, and we're going to call these Pantry Stable Recipes. And add that. Perfect. So you can see that that's been successfully added to a collection. You can actually click into your collections, and we've got our Pantry Stable Recipes up here. So in order to add more, you can either click from within your recipes, or you can actually go back to that program. So you can click back into program, and we can select any of these, and you can actually add right to a collection from here. If you're not worrying about the ingredients and you just want to add all of these, you can just go add to collection right here. Same as in recipes, if we're inside of recipes and we've found something that works for us, like this coconut rice with beans, we can click these 3 dots and add to collection, or you can do it from right inside of the recipe by selecting the photo, the 3 dots to the right of export, and adding to collection to our Pantry Stable Recipes. Really important to note that when you're inside of collections, you can change this information here. So you can always edit your collection name. In your description, you can include information that is only facing to you, so your client doesn't ever see any of this information. And you can include tags, so just a reminder of why you built this collection in the first place and what you're allowing it to adhere to. And then once we've got all of our recipes in here, so let's just add a few more. I want these cinnamon ginger energy balls. And I definitely want popcorn, because that is such a pantry staple and just a great PM snack. So I'm going to head back into collections, and I want to now export this for whether it be a client or a group program or a free challenge or even a lead magnet. So you do all of that the same way. Click on these 3 dots and you export collection. You're going to select recipes, and it's the same screen that populates from what we already saw before. You'll notice that there's no option for a plan and a list, because this is just a recipe book. It's a collection of recipes, and it's not actually a meal plan. Again, you can choose to include the nutrition or not. And then same idea, you select a cover page, you can create information for your client down at the bottom. And I'm going to remove this because it obviously has nothing to do with a meal plan, but what I was alluding to is that we have a brand new snippet template that we've created for you, and it's much like the client meal plan introduction, but it's called the client recipe book introduction. So if I select that, now I've got information that directs my client about this specific resource. So again, you can edit this so that it sounds more like your language. It points to things within the recipe book that you'd like to highlight, and really helps them leverage this to the best of their ability as a resource so that they can hit those goals and really start to feel better. So we just start export, and that's going to export the exact same way that a meal plan would, just it won't contain your plan and it won't contain a shopping list. Oh, you're muted, Abigail.
Classic. I was doing that all last week too. So that's awesome. So whether you want to give your clients the non-perishable meal plan or a recipe book, both are total options for you. You can create them right here in that Clean Life. It just really depends on your clients, right? And how they kind of live their life. If they're more, like to create their own meal plans or just kind of fly by the seat of their pants, then the recipe book is great. And if they like more structure and want more guidance, then the meal plan with a prep guide is really great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So if you guys have any questions, drop those into the chat box now, because we're going to wrap up soon. But the last thing I wanted to talk about with you, Tabitha, was how would people use this as health professionals and as a way to grow their business, to maintain clients during this time, and to even attract new clients during this time? How could you take our non-perishable foods program and kind of make that happen?
Amazing. Well, something that we've done really well here is always provided you endless resources for your clients, and this is no exception. So you can really leverage this to fit within your practice for however that looks for you. So some ideas that come to mind are, at this time, maybe just running a free challenge and helping everyone get on board with this goal of, a lot of places right now are encouraging everyone to stay at home and physically distance. So, we could create a stay at home pantry challenge where you're challenging your clients to put together everything that they've got within their pantry and get creative within the kitchen so that they are encouraged to stay at home. They're finding new ways to experiment in the kitchen, and they're feeling good about doing it because they've got your guidance. Specifically with a free program like that, you can always lead that into a group program. So maybe you extend something of a 4-week program where you're, again, encouraging people to stay at home, leverage their pantry items and their non-perishables, and coaching them through a group program at that same time while providing them resources with either a meal plan or a recipe book, and really leveraging what they do have on hand.
Cool.
Yeah.
And also we sent out a ton of ideas yesterday as well about kind of ideas. I think there were 6 ideas in total. How many of you guys saw that email?
I think that went out this morning.
Oh yeah, that was this morning.
Yeah. That's how long ago it felt.
Days are long. So that will give you some ideas too of how you could use this. Like, we didn't give the Non-Perishable Foods Program as a specific example in those, but the world is your oyster here. You have to get creative. You have to really respond to your clients' needs right now. And a lot of people are at home trying to figure out what to cook. More people are cooking at home than ever. Before. And this is a big opportunity for you guys as health professionals, as nutrition professionals, to get in there and really help out and provide something of value. Okay, so that kind of sums up what we wanted to talk about. Now I'm wondering what questions you guys have. So right off the bat, I saw somebody asking about pricing. Pricing if you were to take this and run a paid program. So we have actually a whole episode. I'm going to put the link up for Nutrition for Your Business on pricing. And Ashley and I walk you through step by step how to price your services and programs. So I'd really encourage you to go through that exercise if you're not sure how to price, whether you're offering one-on-one meal plans or whether you need to price a group program. That's a really great episode for you to watch. And then the other question I saw was about the meal planning assessment tool. So how many of you guys are using the meal planning assessment tool? It's something that we offer for free on thatcleanlife.com/books. It's there for you so that you can take it, and it gives you a series of questions that you can ask your clients to build them great meal plans. So I'll pop that link into the chat as well. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
Something that I did want to go over as well, Abigail, just based on the pricing option is, you don't need to give away the farm. You don't need to give away all of your resources when it comes to creating community and helping your clients and meeting them where they're at. They don't need all 20 recipes in order to get started. And so if you're looking to update your lead magnet, or maybe you're just looking to run a free challenge so that everyone can feel supported during this time, something as simple as 7 recipes for the week is more than enough to get your clients started. Or a 3-day meal plan is more than enough to get your clients started as a free challenge. And that's going to ultimately leverage you as someone who can be leaned on and trusted and can support them through this time. So really it's about being there for them and using this as a tool to be there for them, and then move on forward to, more priced programs, whether that be a group program or one-on-one work. But if you're looking to do something free, don't give away the farm.
Yeah, because exactly like you said, you can use it as a free preview of what it's like to work with you. And then you can build on that. You can give more value, even more value in your paid programs. I love that. Okay, so let's wrap it up for today. I think we got to most of your questions. If there are any outstanding questions, Tabitha's always standing by to help you guys. She's really awesome. support@thatcleanlife.com if you have any questions. We're happy to help. We're really eager to help you through this time. So never hesitate to reach out. We're always here for you. Tabitha just dropped that into the chat, support@thatcleanlife.com. And yeah, so we'll leave it there for today. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thanks for coming out with your questions. I hope you learned something new, and we'll catch you all next time. Bye everyone.
Bye guys.